You have entered the realm of dead air. For the next 2 hours, you will be transported into the world of the strange and the supernatural. You might not feel the need to cleanse your laptops or mobile devices afterwards. But it might not be a bad idea.
Wherever you are, above our heads, I need you to come downstairs. You're coming downstairs. We're standing right here, the two weirdos holding hands. All right. So if you're here, I can hear you very well. I need you. Are you with this building originally? Part of the building's history? Okay, so this person over here. So I'm going to ask, are you a male? Okay. Okay, can I get your first name? A. I think that's more than a first name. All right. A, first word. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. A, B, more. So James, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, W, A, B, C, D, E. Welcome. You're welcoming us here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. 2. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. The A, B, C.
See?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, C, O. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Colonial. Colonial. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, in. In? No. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, house. A, B, C, D, E, hotel. So the Colonial Hotel is what you know it as. Okay. So this is James. Welcome to the Colonial Hotel. So thank you so much for welcoming us.
The Colonial Hotel, also known as the Shanley Hotel. This is the reveal night. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Dead Air Live on the Dead Air Full Spectrum channel. We are simulcast with KGRADB.com, KGRA on Facebook. My name is George Lopez down here in Florida. With me, as always, Mr. Ken DeCosta of Rise Up Paranormal in Rhode Island. And I'm tired, guys. I did all the work this week for this show. All the evidence review. What, Ken? Did I not? Something smell wrong here? A little fishy?
No, just kind of fanning you off here.
The work was relentless. Hi, Sandy Andrews, saying hello in there. How are you doing, Mr. Joseph Freza in there as well. Celine. This is like the Jonathan's also there. This is like the Mickey Mouse Club calling it off. But thank you guys for joining us tonight. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you've never done it before, make sure you do it. Also, the reminder bell for upcoming content. And most importantly, Ken will do the visuals on this. The thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up button just below this screen right now, because it greatly affects us as far as the viewership. And YouTube is pretty close to giving us our special decoder ring. Okay, we don't have enough yet for shirts, but decoder ring is on the way. So you guys make sure, please participate by hitting that thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated by both of us. And we have guests with us tonight as well. Do we not, Ken?
We do. In the first half, we're going to bring in Aaron Bush, who was in studio with George for the live event, and Bill Forte, who was on site with us at the Shanley Hotel.
Bastard.
And we're going to start off the first hour here. In the second hour, Cody and Satori, the paranormal couple, will be joining us. They were called away to work tonight at the Conjuring House.
Oh, how bad.
You've probably heard of it out there.
What a shame.
So they're a little delayed with a group that is coming in a little bit late tonight, but they're going to come in at 9 o'clock, and we're going to flesh all of this out tonight. And we've done 4 of these previously, and just a heads up tonight, this is going to be a long one. There is so much to go over. We're going to review what you saw, and we'll be able to comment on it as those who were there. And then we're also a little later on in the show going to get into what you didn't see after the cameras started rolling. And there was plenty of that as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Very laid back tonight. You know, we'll be totally structurally unstructured tonight.
Oh my God, for sure.
Evidence, evidence, evidence. Now, those of you playing along at home, make sure that you have your favorite alcoholic beverage bottle out. Every time that we have an evidence capture of Bill saying, "I'm freaking out," you have to do a shot.
Oh my God.
That.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you thought it was going to be a long night? Just wait. But we knew, in all actuality, guys, we got to give it up to Julie DeMay, Ken DaCosta, the awesome twosome who did much of the entire last 10 days sitting in front of a computer, editing all of this evidence, putting it all together so that you guys could either re-experience what took place last Friday or for the first time experience it. And a good portion of this, Ken, once again, was off camera, was it not?
It really was. It really was. So we're going to intersperse some reminders about what you saw. And I think it's important to say, listen, you know, in order to even get this done, we've got to go with the highlights. So we remind everybody, if you want even more context, the actual investigation is up on the Dead Air Full Spectrum page. Feel free to refer back to that. If you want to watch the entire thing right now before we start, we'll give you that time. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. Dun, dun, dun,
All right.
dun, dun, dun. Okay.
But that's how we're going to run this tonight. And I want to just echo something really quick. Julie DeMay, amazing. When I had told her on the ride home that, you think we can get this show done for next Sunday? And Julie is a sort of a can-do person. And this one was kind of easy, even with the time that had to go into it, because everything was fresh in our minds. And it was such a good night. It was such a good night. And there was so much to get to that I think that motivated us to you know, put it together, get on here, and put on a show for you folks tonight. So
what an emotional roller coaster it was, because it was incredible. All the different vibes and feelings, from very positive to at sometimes negative. Now, Ken, I don't know, did you include any of the information of what happened in the basement at night or no for this?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
That's everything is represented here. And there's going to be some text. So, you know, hey, listen, there may be a test on this stuff later on, so feel free to take notes.
Yeah. Before we proceed forward, we'll get one response in also from Aaron, being in the studio with me, taking a look at everything that was going on. What was your takeaway from last week's investigation?
Well, my first question is your decoder ring going to say drink your Ovaltine when it arrives?
You're freaking me out. Okay.
Oh my
No,
God.
that investigation was amazing. I mean, it
was
so much happening, so many different, spirits coming through, spirits from the house, spirits of family members of people not on site, people of, family members of people on site. I mean, it just never ceases to amaze me what Rise Up's able to get as far as evidence goes. And I think it's so much because of the way they handle those investigations, the respect, the kindness. If they say they're going to do something, they do it. Like, it's just all handled so beautifully well that I think for each of those spirits, it's just an easy way for them to come through because there's a rapport established quickly, it seems like to me. So my brain explodes every time y'all do one of these, and I'm just always excited to get to go along for the ride. So
yeah,
Right.
it was interesting, and so many of us, other than Julie, it was our first time there.
yeah.
So everything, as far as our emotions, was there for everybody to see in terms of, these things, what we were able to document. Because at the end of the day, that's really what we're there for. Even with good intentions, we try to get as much as we can recorded.
Right.
So it was just one of those nights. Sometimes it doesn't happen. On this particular night, very active, however you want to frame it. Active, haunted, you can insert your own term there. But I think
Well-
over the next couple of hours, if anybody hasn't seen it, they're going to get a taste of what exactly went on there, and they'll see what we're talking about.
Just something quick, George. I didn't mean to interrupt, but a big thanks to Steve as well behind the scenes, doing all the film work and doing the recordings of the live stream.
Steve Mills.
Yes.
Yep. Steve Mills, Chantel here helping out, George and Aaron. So really a collaborative effort. That's what we love. The things that maybe you don't see. They're not easy to put together, but we're getting better at it, I think. And,
Yes.
many hands makes little work. So
Exactly. And before I turn it over to Ken to produce these clips for us for tonight, a couple things I wanted to say. Number one, Julie DeMay is in the chat, a very lovely producer for Rise Up Paranormal, does an incredible job. So any questions you have for Julie, she's right there in the chat with us as well. And the other thing that I wanted to say was when you tune into Dead Air and these live investigations and the reviews that are involved with it too, I hope something is taken away by each and every one of you as individuals. The techniques, the demeanor, the respect, the professionalism, but it is an attempt in advancement in this field. Whether it is the tapping method, whether it is the way of handling a EVP recording, it's incredibly crucial that we keep spreading this incredible demeanor that Rise of Paranormal presents to the field and using that to the best of its ability. You've seen the results. You will continue to see the results. And it's a testament to Ken DaCosta and Rise Up in the way that they conduct themselves. So kudos to you guys, Ken.
Well, we appreciate that. I accept that on behalf of everyone in the group. So what we want to do, let's get right to the clips here. Something interesting happened, and a lot of this stuff is done in post-production, as you can say, on our review, because we're living in the moment. Things happen, we record them, but then there's a review that takes place, and there was really something very interesting in the seance room. And a lot of the videos you're going to watch tonight are Julie's perspective, because we've seen our own broadcast, but this is a sometimes second, third, and even fourth cameras that we have around there, because regardless of what we're doing, the place is always wired. So what happened is, at the end of Cody and Story session, I'm doing an EVP session. Wanted to take 5 minutes or so to do that. Plus it gives them a little bit of a break, because it does take a toll on them. So I picked up the recorder and did that. And while I don't know. Sometimes the proof is in the pudding, and I just got to show this to you. But it seems to me that they opened a door that we want to keep exploring here, because I started to get the same kind of responses that they do in terms of knocks, even once for yes, twice for no. So this is something that hasn't happened before, but I'll let you all take a look at it and comment. Do you have children, Mr. Shanley? Are your children with you now? Are your children safe? Without the assistance of Cody and Satori, is it possible for you to still make that noise on the floor, that tapping sound?
Yeah. The yes on the end I picked up. The other ones were a little bit weaker, but
Yeah.
the dialogue was certainly there, very whispered form.
Yeah, and I was not asking for, in fact, I was emphatically asking for a voice. I wasn't asking for the knocks, but it seems that Mr. Shanley had discovered a way to speak, because earlier in that session, he had asked Cody and Satori, "Can you hear me?" in the middle of his introduction. And I think he was amazed by the whole thing. So, give you a little background on what happened here with the Shanley children, and it might explain his responses. His wife's name was Beatrice, dreamed of having a large family. On the 6th of 1912, birth to their first daughter, Kathleen. She died a little shy of 6 months. She would give birth to two more children, James Jr., who lived 4.5 months, and William, who died a little over 9 months.
Wow.
Wow.
So perhaps that puts into context his responses. No, they're not with me, and I don't know.
Fascinating.
So sad.
Maybe not that reuniting that we think about, which is, it's heart-rending. It really is. But, I don't know what goes on the other side. Sometimes there aren't happy endings to it. So those responses that I received seem to be in line with the tragedies that took place in terms of their children. As we left the seance room, there was a big discussion about the doll we had brought, courtesy of Maria Dorgan, our Annabelle doll, which is essentially a proximity sensor. Like, you have their dogs and cats that you leave out for children. If they touch them, they trigger, they'll light up. And as you went to break, our Annabelle on the sofa did that. And it was very surprising, because Mr. Shanley had just directed us over to where the table and the hand was, where seances are actually conducted there, and said, "I'll talk to you in there." And as we made our way, suddenly the doll triggered. So this is what happened from Julie's camera's perspective.
That shouldn't have gone off, should it? Whoa, that shouldn't have gone off. Hey. That just went off. That shouldn't go off this far away.
Wow.
So somebody...
And it was pointing in this direction.
Yeah, somebody just triggered Annabelle. Oh, really? Yeah, she shouldn't go off out here.
What's that? No, I was the second one in.
Yeah, so somebody set that off.
So he must have walked over there before.
Yep. They were walking over when you were.
Yeah.
I mentioned that when we came back from break during the live feed. I said that doll just went off. And I didn't know if it was because somebody walked too close to it, but it didn't seem like that at the moment. And I said, Ken just went there. But Ken, before that happened, when Cody and Satori were doing the tap method, I heard a noise from that seance room, and I went, like that, and they were looking. They kept looking toward the seance room, like there was something coming from that room. There was definitely some action going on in that seance room, Ken.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what you saw at the end of that clip was Cody and I trying to set her off because we were walking in that direction. She didn't trigger.
Nope.
So even when I was trying to scare her. So here is a Zoom version of the broadcast, a little bit closer.
So after we're done with the break, we'll come back and continue this at the Shanley Hotel live with Rise Up Paranormal. You guys stay with us. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Replenish those beverages. We'll see you in a second. No, thank you.
Erin's shaking her head. Nope.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Nothing against Julie, but couldn't have been a nice little teddy bear doll? Why does this have to be Annabelle?
I don't know. Julie in chat right now, she just, they seem to hit it off together immediately. She brought Annabelle to work, tried to get her a job, drove around with her for a while.
They're driving in the car with it out the window, and
some people, there's just a connection. It's immediate. They had chemistry. So
I have a feeling that thing's going to end up where I'm staying at the Conjuring House, courtesy of one Cody at some point.
While we were driving up, Steve and Cody they were in charge of Annabelle. Of course, Steve, being Steve, rolls down his window, and he's got Annabelle out the window watching the cars pass us. And, you would be amazed how many people were just...
Yeah. Meanwhile,
giving you that thing and pointing.
The Annabelle doll is sucking up every transient spirit going past that car.
I just
didn't want her head vacuum.
To blow off.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't want her head to blow off.
I can get it though. I can get it. Again, the kind of relationship that I built with the Shakak spirit box, I can empathize 100% with Julie's talking about. That connection that happens there. It's still creepy.
Right.
It is creepy.
So we finished in the seance room, which was essentially our introduction. And during that time, the owner of the Shanley, Kelly, had her son, who tragically was killed in a car accident last year, also come through and give a message of hope to his mom that he was okay. And, I direct you to the full broadcast if you want to see that it's in its entirety. But it's another example of, as you'll see later on with George, once those doors are open, there's no doorman there. You're in, you're not. It basically is open to whomever would like to walk through. And sometimes during an investigation, when we have a specific, goal in mind, sometimes that has to be put aside because someone will show up connected to us or the ownership or somebody in the building, or as we've seen in the last two broadcasts, people who were literally in studio whose voices can be heard. And it's just part of the game, people. It's what it's what Cody and Satori do. We give them that time before we return to where our focus is.
If you are just joining us, you are watching Dead Air Post-Mortem, the evidence review of the Shanley Hotel live investigation that happened last Friday, the Friday before, actually. Yeah. So
16,
about 10 days ago on the 16th. So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining us once again. We've got a lot more coming your way. Mr. DaCosta.
Yeah. So once we left there, we went immediately up to the third floor, where there is rumored to be some of the more aggressive spirits for whatever their reason at the Shanley Hotel. We used another device for the first time called a tripwire, and what it is a string of proximity sensors that it looks like a string of Christmas lights. And again, Maria Dorgan, let us borrow this for this particular investigation. She's also part of Rise Up, but couldn't make it. We were actually using this last night at the Paint House Museum. And we got some incredible results with this. And when we went up, I set up in the hall, sitting down in a chair, and ran the string of lights down toward the end of the hall. And immediately what had happened is the lights started going off in sequence as I was asking whoever's down there come toward my voice. And these lights went off in sequence as if somebody was approaching. Somebody took me up on it, started walking toward me, and then when they finished with the lights, there were 2 static meters Cody had put down, and they lit up as well. So here's an example. Unfortunately, that particular part of it we weren't able to record, but we did get some good examples of what we were using, and here is one of those.
Come up, make the lights go on and off. I'll be able to see you that way. At least I know you're coming toward me. Come on toward me. You're doing great. Keep coming. You're doing great. Keep coming. Good job. Hey, you're right here. All right. My name's Ken. It's nice to meet you. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. I'm no threat to you, but you can come on up. So maybe one last time for old time's sake, and then we'll do something else. How's that sound?
Okay. Interesting device that I think we're going to pursue and use it. Last night at Paint House, it was doing some similar things, and then another group used it, and it didn't go off for their entire session. Which actually, if you see it from my perspective, I was very happy about. Because if I take this thing and throw it in my car and it's lighting up in the back seat, obviously it's pretty random.
Right.
People don't set this off, just so everybody knows. So here's another shorter clip as it's as whoever is there begins to approach the room that Cody and Satori are in. And then after it does, things start to go sideways for them in there. So here's a short clip.
Sal, did you hear that question?
Do you know the answer?
And you can hear the knock starting to begin in the room they're in. Okay, so Julie had her FLIR camera out. And this is just an example of how loud these noises were when you're in the hallway and they were in a corner room.
Drop here? The shadow drop here? Okay, I get it. No.
That's gross. Yeah, that loud thing is not shadow. No, that's the shadow thing.
Out. Out. Thank you.
It was
At the end, you hear Satori in her teacher's voice starting to throw entities out of the room. And we're going to get to that, exactly what happened there.
Oh, my gosh.
Not a nice
Bill,
thing.
how did you feel at the time, Bill? Catchphrase.
I think we'll wait until Ken plays that clip, because I'm going to tell you, the 2 rooms that got me physically ill was Adam's room and that room. I felt
Bill, there are people standing by with alcohol, Bill. How did you feel at the moment?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
You were freaking out.
I'm going to start keeping track.
It was incredible. Now, again, for those who've never experienced, that's why when we were live, I said, Erin knows what this is like. It's an incredible experience when you're there in person and you're hearing all these sounds coming from all over the place, and you're trying to figure it out. Like you're trying to be logical. Like, how is this actually happening? And
Yeah.
I have no answer for that. It just
Yeah.
It's wild.
The thing was, and again, this is sometimes how it goes. There was more to that particular device.
Yeah.
And it was as if it began its ascent up the hallway toward me. And if you saw the static meter on the floor, which the lights go on in the direction or of whoever's standing next to it, as it started to, from the left to the center to the right, the room that Cody and Satori were in was to my right. So I understand I'm connecting dots here, but it's almost as if, quote unquote, this thing came up the hallway to my right, continued on in the room in the same direction.
I agree with that. Second,
Wow.
I agree with that.
So a nice little device there. So anybody's wondering, no, they're not cheap. But
no, they're not.
Having them with us, I think, is a real plus because I like the way they're designed. And a little bit later on, you'll see Bill and Julie walking by them, and they don't affect them at all, which I really love.
Very, very nice.
All right, I'll wait on your cue, folks. Because we can just keep blowing through these.
No, I mean, again, we've got a lot to cover, and believe me, we've got a lot of different thoughts and opinions and reflection with regards to these captures on there. But there's a lot of those videos, and we don't want to miss out on any of them. So please continue, sir.
Okay, so let's go to the third floor room that Cody and Satori are in, and I believe Bill was seated in there as well. My wife, Dawn, kind of follows them around with a notepad, taking down the letters, documenting. They can refer back to her if they maybe miss a letter or something like that. But she has some information in real time. I remained out in the hallway, and a very welcome guest came through. And those of you who are aware of the Shanley Hotel, a little bit of its history, its most beloved owner showed up to say hello to us that night. And I'm talking, of course, of Sal Nicosia. And here is that particular session.
Hello? Hi. How many people are up here right now, including yourself? That's a lot of people up here. Okay.
Do we have your name?
Okay, do you know how this works? Words passing?
Okay, this person sounds nicer.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, S, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, A, B, C, A, Sal? Sal.
Do we have your last name? Okay.
Sounds like he's arguing with
thing
somebody.
up here.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like he's arguing with
Like somebody's interfering.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, A, B, C, C, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, Nicholas, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. What do we have?
Nicosi.
Nicosi?
A, B, A. More? Okay, so A. Nicosia?
He's the last one.
Nicosia? Okay,
Wow.
thank you.
Wow.
Thank
Amazing.
So, Sal Nicosia drops by to say hello. And to a lot of people, he is the Shanley Hotel. I have a picture of Sal I'd like to put up there, and I'm going to repeat this when Cody and Satori come back and we talk. Maybe we can even replay this for them, but the man in the middle is Sal Nicosia.
Who are the other guys?
No idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But whoever those two guys are, they're standing with Sal Nicosia. So yeah, obviously the ghost hunters had visited the Shanley Hotel many moons ago.
Oh yeah.
And from there, I think we'll continue on, because this is what I mean about things going sideways, because there were some darker elements to this investigation that we made a conscious effort to not entertain. And we'll get into why a little bit later. But again, Satori has to step up here and be bold and be adamant about the idea that there will not be any interference with a third party. So here's that clip.
Tell Sal. I thought you were trying to Sal. Okay. Tell Sal. A, B, B.
A.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, and. Tell Sal and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, J. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. A, B, C, D, E. Joe. Tell Sal and Joe.
Oh.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, I. Word I. A, B, am. Okay. So your family? Are those your children? Okay.
Can I ask a question? Are you Kelly's father-in-law?
No. Ooh.
Wow.
Is this mob related?
It's like you can't talk, but he'll talk. That's
Yeah.
all I'm getting.
Whoever's not right now, stop, please.
Is this still Sal?
Stop.
All right,
Stop.
just let go for a second.
Time out.
Wow.
Stop, or we're gonna have to push you out.
Sal, if you're still here, can you
Is
Do you wanna
this,
just push, do you wanna just push this one?
is this Sal?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Just-
Go on.
Satori don't take no mess.
No. Well, it's a testament, Ken, and I know that you want to get into this a little bit, but it's with regards to, hey, you're stirring up the hornet's nest when you buy into it. Another team might go in there and look at that as a capitalizing moment, and Cody and Satori did it wisely, did it professionally, and did it maturely, and just said, we're not going to have anything of it. We're not going to give you center stage with what it is that you're doing. You're disrupting us. And I don't know if you have the further part where they break contact and come back together again, but
Yeah, that was in there.
it was in,
Yes.
okay.
And I was like, in a low voice, oh my God,
Yeah.
because I couldn't believe it. When they let go, it stopped. And as soon as they connected, it started right away. And George, at the beginning of that whole segment, you said, I don't like the looks of this.
Yeah.
And I said, I agree. Because whatever that was dark. It was not a good thing. And then they brought up the word shadow. The shadow brought me here. I'm like, okay, this is not good. Whatever that is not.
When I could see, it sort of looked to me either like Ken and I talked about this earlier this week. But I think I mentioned it to George as well on either on or after the show. But it appeared to me almost like tar or ink. And it had all this like stringy stuff too. So I'm not sure what it was, if it was human. It felt human at some point, turned animalistic. But yeah, definitely not good at all.
No.
Can kind of describe, I mean, this is part of Rise Up Paranormal. This is something that you have tutored to your entire team forever. But the importance of not buying into it, the importance of not giving these particular entities the stage you're looking for versus other teams that's all they do. Why does Rise of Paranormal take the high road?
The answer to that is very simple. It's we take caution in what we leave behind. You saw for the first time at a new location, Cody and Satori be able to reach spirits that they never have before. So suddenly, these people like James Shanley, Sal Nicosia, they realize that they can speak, they can send messages. And those messages, as far as our intent is good, and the door swings both ways. On the spirit side, there's also intention, and there can be benevolent intention as well as malevolent. And we're always mindful of what we leave behind. And because we knew a little bit about the place and who the main characters were, we just chose not to give this particular entity a voice or any of our time, because it's kind of how you handle a petulant child. Obviously, this was a spirit who chose to intercede and interfere in what was going on. And Cody and Satori, to their credit, would not give him a voice, not even to tell us your name or anything like that. We're not here to put on a performance like, oh, an evil spirit, let's go charging at it and we'll muscle up here. And, you know, in the real world, we're trying to be conciliatory because we don't want to give a voice to anybody who's capable of doing any harm to anybody, because at the end of the day, we're jumping in our car and going home. It's not like, well, we'll be back and we'll be back again. And now we'll address that in particular. And, you know, we're going to do a case study on the place, because we're mindful that the next group that comes in may or may not antagonize that same spirit.
I've used this old person metaphor in the past, the days of AOL chat. And you could be in a chat room talking with other people, and somebody comes in that just wants to stir things up to get recognition. And if you give them that recognition, they're just going to continue to escalate to make sure that they still stay center stage.
We'll never get anything done, George, no matter where we go.
Them, no,
and we'll see an example of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kudos again to the way that it was all handled.
Yeah. It was the same thing as the Alley Theater. You know, it's time to why? You know, not for clicks, not for likes, not for views. We would handle an investigation like that in somebody's home and not try to leave a mess behind us. So we're certainly not going to come here because we have cameras on us and do anything that's different. So if you have a different mindset, you're welcome to it, but that's ours, I guess. What can I say? Deal with it.
And being there, it was not a good feeling.
No.
You did not want to be around whatever that was.
No, I've got my wife in the room. I've got a team. My first, you know, is safety of the group. You know, everybody's well-being, you know, psychologically, physically, and you'll see that there was a physical attack on somebody. This is something else that you didn't get to see. We'll be getting to that in a minute. Before we do that, I want to put this up there because the following day, we get a very nice message in the comment section below the video. And it's from Sal Nicosia Jr., who thanks us for our help to get the message from me and my brother Joe. Today is Father's Day as well as my dad's birthday. I'm glad he's okay.
Wow.
So very nice of Sal Jr. to pass that along, and says, I found out about you guys. You have a new fan. So, you know,
that's
Sal,
awesome.
we feel the same. Your dad meant a lot to a lot of people. So very nice of Sal, on behalf of his brother Joe, take a little bit of time and say something nice.
That's fantastic. That's cool. And absorb all of that appreciation, Ken, because it's again, it's a testament to what you and Rise of Paranormal do. And, you know, people someday somehow will learn that lesson, rather than looking to get those views, and being able to say simply that, hey, we're glad because of our contact, our team's contact, and the way our conduct is, that we're making consistent advances in this field to be able to have dialogue with loved ones on the other side. That's what it's all about.
Well, we were invited back.
And another thing with the
So
Sal,
I'll leave that right there. We were invited back. We're often invited back because. So
with
I'll
the
just
Sal,
leave that there.
with the Sal situation, with that other whatever that was, the louder thing, Sal kept coming back. Sal, is that you? And Sal, you could hear like the little coming back, and Sal wanted to continue to get his message out to his family.
Right.
So Sal was persistent. I don't know how he was as a character, as a person, but he was like, I'm coming back. That thing is not stopping me from getting my message out to my family. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking too, from like an energetic perspective with that not so nice entity, you know, if you entertain that, you're shifting the energetic frequency and dynamic of the house, all the spirits, all the people in the room. And I think when that happens, if you start entertaining a spirit like that, you're then sort of forcing your Sals, your Peters, your Jameses out of the room, because those frequencies don't align together. So,
Aaron, that happened because
but she was able to at least bump him, even if it's temporarily. It's kind of starting to show like, hey, this is not the frequency we want here.
Well,
the more you're doing that, you're changing
consider this for a minute, that spirits are interacting with each other on the other side. Yep. So when I say leaving a mess behind, it's not necessarily just for the living.
No.
That's right.
Because there are conflicts that exist in the spirit realm as well. Unfinished business, retribution, revenge, all of those human emotions that we seem to take with us.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on the other side? So one more reason that, if you're a jackass, we're just not going to, we're not going to give you our energy.
Yeah.
But Ken, you made a great point early, because if that's the kind of thing you want to do and you leave it that way, it's going to spill out into our realm, and that can cause issues for the people that live there or people that go there in the future. So you made a great point about that.
Stephen Mills, part of Rise of Paranormal, in the chat also, as well as Julie DeMay. Yeah.
Steve,
for those of you just joining us,
great camera work, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keeping up with everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You are watching Dead Air Post-Mortem, the evidence review of Shanley Hotel live investigation. We've got about 9 minutes left in this half of the show. So Cody and Satori will be joining us in the second hour. Also, a reminder for you to click that reminder bell, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, Michelle Belanger will be joining us, and you remember her from Paranormal State, and just an incredible, well-rounded, well-read individual. So she's returning to see us next week. Make sure you guys hit that reminder bell. Ken, you want to continue?
Sure. From there, we went up to one more floor to the Bordello, which was one of the iterations of this hotel for many, many years, prior to Prohibition and then during Prohibition. And we met a gentleman up there that I was familiar with because I had done some reading on him. And he came along and introduced himself to us and brought his family along with him. So everyone, please meet Peter Greger.
Hi, have we talked to you before? Okay, you know how this works though. Okay. So what do you want to ask? How many people are in this room that are spirits?
Somebody walking around.
Yeah. So it's like 2, and then somebody's running around.
Can we have the first person's name, please? Or was this area important to you? Do you have something to do with this area?
Okay. Sorry, my hair's in my face. Can I ask for your first name? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. I was trying to see if it was a name on the door. P, E, T, A, B, C, D, E.
Peter? Hi,
Peter.
Peter.
Can I give a last name, Peter? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H,
No.
I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Gregor?
Gregor. Hi, Peter. Peter, I was just reading about you today. Can I ask a question, Peter?
There's somebody running around.
Can we just talk to Peter
There's like
for right now?
All big kids sit on the couch.
Don't look at John.
Yeah, that's.
Sit on the couch.
I love that. That is so
Teacher
funny. It's like,
Satori.
when he came up, literally these little footsteps, running around, and then finally Satori, all you kids sit on a couch. There's someone who grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters. Right?
No doubt.
Right.
That's her father coming through without question.
For sure. But Peter Gregor, and we'll get into this in a minute. I've got another little blurb on him, if you'll indulge me.
Please.
The Gregor family was brought in by the Shanleys to live there and kind of took care of the place. And what had happened, unfortunately, is they lost their little daughter, Rosie, who fell down a well. She was 4 years old. 3 years old, 4 years old. We've got a clip on that.
Yeah.
But in the time we have, Peter Gregor, James hired to live with his family. Rosie was 3, wandered across the road to a farm, lifted a wooden slab to peek into the well, lost her balance, toppled into the well, striking her head. Found 2 hours later, came to the conclusion he could no longer live at the site of the tragic accident. So his wife and his other daughter, they returned to Brooklyn, and the apparition of the little girl has been seen in the hotel. Again, in the main broadcast, we have Peter goes into great detail about this story,
yes,
about the well, and we have a conversation with him about Rosie and about how he and his wife decided to move away because the place just held so many bad memories for him. So there is an entire conversation with Mr. Gregor about that. We have a clip here as a follow-up that's about 2 minutes long, so maybe we want to wait on the other side of the break because this story does have a happy ending to it.
Well, let me lead in with something also, Ken, that I wanted to address. You and I talked about it on the phone a little bit today too, and that is to the wonderment of what these spirits are capable of. Yeah, you were firsthand experiencer with regards to the spirits pulling from your thoughts, not even speech, but as you were looking up a particular location and reading about an individual, lo and behold, they appeared in a location that was not related to them. Is a possibility in this case too, as you were reading and researching about Peter, that his spidey tingles came up and said, I'm going to show up over there at the Shanley, even though I moved away from there?
I probably wouldn't rule out the possibility. And I think as you saw my reaction, I think by the time the PE came out, I caught myself on camera just like I knew who was coming. I wouldn't rule out that possibility because it's happened with the couple on multiple occasions now. And which made me wonder about the first clip when I was getting the knocks on an EVP session. I would not suggest I'm somehow tied to them other than spending a lot of time around them. I don't know, maybe through osmosis, but I would like to believe that being able to do something like this and know you're being heard may motivate them to try a little harder to bangs, which is something that we do quite often.
Right.
Now Cody and Story are taking a break. Can you continue to do that? Because I promise you we can hear you. And this is one of those cases where on the surface, it seemed to have paid dividends. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes going forward.
I have a testimonial to that same experience that I'll bring up once we get around to my segment. But I was bringing up to Ken today. This is for Bill and Aaron to ponder and think about too, for maybe after the break, is with regards to those people that we spoke to that are involved in demonology, those people that are actual or claimed exorcists that go out there and talk about how that these evil spirits know your deepest, darkest secrets. Well, if any benevolent spirit can read the minds of a Ken DaCosta, as an example, and just simply manifest and show up, what's to stop a malevolent human spirit doing the same thing when it is looking to influence? Let's take that one making all those heavy steps up on that third floor and open up that opportunity for communication, and having the ability to read the thoughts of the people in the room could really start to manipulate that situation. And if it's an individual who is susceptible to suggestion, could look at it as some sort of an oppression or possession. And I don't think it's been approached or viewed that way here in the field. It's right away, let's jump to the theology. Let's jump to something demonic, when in all actuality, especially in these locations where we kind of have a running joke of, look, you think a demon is just sitting, in the basement waiting for an investigator to come in and provoke so that it can scratch you, and that's the end of the interaction, and then you go home fine because you smudged. It doesn't make logical sense. I think oppression and possession is something that happens. I think it's on a rare occasion, but I would subscribe to this scenario more easily. That I think we're susceptible. We got about 30 seconds.
You have to be careful, I think, when you claim something's demonic, a demon, or just a malevolent spirit. Yeah. I think there's definitely a difference in that. Now, I wouldn't want to open myself up to something that's malevolent or negative coming into my head. So that's a no.
Either way,
if they're in my head, I wish them luck, because it's
good luck. Notice they don't stay long.
a little cluttered up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the top of the hour, which means we have to go to our break. When we come back on the other side, we expect Cody and Satori to join us at some point, but stay with us, guys. We'll be back in about 3 minutes. You're watching Dead Air Live on the Dead Air Full Spectrum channel.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
As UFO reports come in from around the world, the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, is there. We continue to explore new cases and build our massive database. We share our information with the world in a number of ways. If you'd like to be part of our investigative team, you are always welcome. What could be more exciting than exploring the UFO question firsthand? Join MUFON, find your friends.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, this can all be linked to dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration
You're listening to the KGRA Digital Broadcasting Network. We provide unparalleled coverage of trending news in the world of ufology, cryptozoology, and paranormal phenomenon. Whether you're watching our video live stream or listening to one of our audio programs, you are getting the best from world-renowned researchers and hosts, guiding you through topics the mainstream won't touch. Miss one of your favorite programs? No problem. Head over to the members area at kgradb.com for access to our massive library of award-winning content. Make contact, stay connected. Only at kgradb.com.
Hey guys, okay, welcome back to the second hour of our show. Again, Dead Air live on the Dead Air Full Spectrum channel. This is the post-mortem of the Shanley Hotel investigation that was done Friday before last on the 16th. And I need some tapping sounds. Cody Satori, if you're here, give me a rapping of some sort. Hey! There they are. It's so good to see you guys. Hey, question, where are you at?
The Conjuring House, your favorite place.
Hey!
Don't
Sorry.
tell him that. He might have a meltdown.
You asked Cody for some rapping. I thought he was going to start busting some rhymes there.
I know, right?
Well,
boy, we've been talking a lot about you guys tonight.
Oh, geez, our ears were ringing.
Uh-oh.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Listen, the field is all a buzz. The people in the chat just constantly responding with awe to some of the things that were being collected there. And again, it is absolutely amazing for us to be able to bear witness to experience a lot of the different connections and things that are going on. Of course, as you know, it hurts my head.
Ours too sometimes.
Yeah, well, yeah, that I can imagine. As a matter of fact, I even asked you when you guys broke connection at one point in time, how do you feel physically? And it's tough on you guys. It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, every situation is different, and for multiple different reasons. I mean, it all depends on how much sleep we've gotten, how much energy we have, and then it depends on the spirits that are, communicating with us as well. I think all of them, depending on what type of energy they have and their personalities, I think that depends how much energy they kind of drain from us as well. So it depends. It depends how many people we talk to, I think, and
how much sugar we consume.
Yeah. So I've always heard. I remember when I first started investigating, and everyone was always like, a good tip: don't eat any sugar or candy or anything
healthy
before an investigation and stuff. And we find that helps us out the most. We
eat
candy
junk food.
and it's not just an excuse to eat candy too.
No.
So it really works. So
you're trying to force Twizzlers on me at Shanley, which is like my absolute worst candy. Oh God, I hate it.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh,
those are good.
No,
I love
cucumbers.
Twizzlers.
Always cucumbers. It's
right.
Gross.
a lot of energy. Anyway, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off camera. Ken has a lot of evidence still to go through. Ken, if you wish to now or later on, kind of bring up the dialogue of what we were talking about just before the break. Didn't get a chance for Aaron to respond to that. Bill did a little bit, but I'll turn it over to you at this time, and I'll handle the chat room.
Okay. Hey, welcome back to Dead Air. Cody and Satori join us now on camera. We had just finished up with meeting Sal Nicosia for the first time, and him giving a message through you to his son Sal Jr. and Joe. And then another party coming into the room that you had to disengage and essentially just throw his butt out. So we were talking about that a little bit, and we went into that in terms of everybody talks about intention on our part. It's all about intention. But there is intention on the other side of this equation too. It's the intention of the spirits. So really, we were talking about why do we disengage and walk away? Where some other people will, well, it's the demon. I'm going to go get the demon. Come on, I mean, so the thing is, it's the mess you leave behind when you leave. And my thought on that, it's not just the mess to the living, because spirits interact. It's the mess that you may leave and the conflict that you may leave amongst the spirit realm. Because obvious, this guy was kind of a jackass about the whole thing. And so, before we move on, I wanted to give you guys a chance to talk about that, because we had a pretty decent discussion about what happens when those things are encountered, and the way you handled it, perfect. Get out of the room.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, there are still a lot of unknowns in this field, and I think the more we do this, we answer questions, but always more pop up, and it's rare to come across, something or somebody like that. I should say somebody. I believe you retain the same attitude in death as you had in life, and I'm not saying that was a demon or anything like that. It's probably just a person with a really bad attitude, and it's weird because we kind of get a feeling when something's a little off, like somebody is maybe angry or something like that, and we're not sure if that's going to take a toll on us as well. Like I was mentioning just a few minutes ago, I think different spirits with different energies can kind of affect us in different ways. So it's much easier for us to just pull off and break connection, and usually that stops them. Listen, we're giving them a chance to talk, and which is rare, and usually there's a line of people waiting to say something. When somebody barges into a room like that and they try taking everything over and they don't seem too kind, we're not going to give them the chance.
Once they find out they can talk,
yeah,
that's the end of it. They're going to be everywhere. So, Tori, what are you going to say?
Well, I was going to say that we only have so much energy, so I don't really want to waste it on somebody that has a bad attitude to talk with when there's other people in the room. And also, personally, this is just me, though. I don't want to be chasing after anything negative. I don't want to interact with anything negative. I don't think it's brave to be chasing after negative things. I think it's stupid. So I'm not going to do it. And so no offense to anybody that does it, but I think
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
as
I
like
hear you.
Internet trolls and things like that. You don't respond to them, right? So you just gotta let them talk and just go about your business and talk to the nice people that want to actually communicate with you. At least
I think that we've had a couple of instances where people have followed on these live things. We had one at the Alley Theater, and then boom, then we have one here, and it's the idea we're not here to perform for anybody. It's like, okay, guys, we meet on the side now. This time we're going to go in aggressively, and we're going to, and it's like, we just don't do that. We won't do it in somebody's house. So because a camera's rolling, I mean,
exactly.
but we hit that before. Erin, you want to jump in on something here?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you guys were, talking earlier about, Ken's predilection to have spirit sort of read his mind and giving energy to a spirit like what you had to boot. I think if we're assuming that there's a collective consciousness and everything and everyone's connected, no matter if you're human, cryptid, spirit, galactic, whatever you are, then it doesn't really surprise me if they're able to kind of know what's going on in your head before you say anything. But then also to everybody else's point, my granddad used to say, when you're an asshole 24 hours a day. And when you're a dead asshole. So I think there's probably some credence to that. But Satori hit the nail on the head. You just don't give energy to that kind of spirit. And especially for you guys, because I mean, I sort of see it, like the battery starts to get a little lower, it takes a lot out of you guys. And so to be able to just be like, nope, we're not playing with this today. See you later. But the fact that they pay attention because they know you are not messing around when Satori has her teacher voice on. they listen. And I think that's a testament to the way you guys handle things. But I do think they're able to know what's going on in our brains because it's all quantumly tangled, entangled.
The last clip we played was Tori telling all the kids sit on the couch.
Yeah. I know that voice. I listen too when she talks like that.
Miss Hawes has entered the building and spoken. Everybody sit down and shut up.
Because it's like you're talking to children and you can't see the children, so it's hard. So it's like I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna talk to them like I usually talk in a stern voice. And so it's talking to spirit, and no offense to any spirits if you can hear me right now. Some spirits, it's just so much excitement. They're not thinking straight like right away. They're not prepared that this is going to happen. So they're all over the place. So you just kind of have to be like stern to calm them down at first and be like, listen, this is how it's going to go. So
I think it's something that everyone here has said numerous times, and it's simple. Respect of the living and respect of those who have passed.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you do that, everything is good to go.
That's true.
So Tori, I just wanted to mess with you. I just want to mess. Yeah, that. I was expecting you to come on the show tonight with a shirt with my face.
Come on. The best quote of the entire night was every time I did something or I turn around and look at Bill, he walks in the room and goes, oh my God. Oh my God. It was so funny. That was my favorite.
But
did you guys...
I'm sorry, Ken. On a serious note, it's because of the way you approach all of you on these investigations is why it's a return factor in how you get the responses. Because it's all a matter of how you go in there with respect, and you're doing it with the right approach. And I think a lot of other groups, like Ken said, try to get clickbait or hits and try to, make it like some big thing that they're gonna see a demon talk or something. No, it's not about that. It's not about that at all. It's about respect.
Well said.
Mm-hmm.
Cody, you said you saw the message we got from Sal's son, right?
Yes, that was beautiful.
Really
That
nice
was
of them to do
Wasn't
that.
it?
And found a picture of Sal, with two other guys.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
I don't know who the other two guys, but that's Sal Nicosia in the middle.
Wow.
That's so weird how everything like.
I know, it kind of links together. Isn't
That's
that
so
weird?
Yeah,
That's wild.
That is cool.
Good find.
All right, so as I mentioned, we got a lot to get to. We were just talking about Peter Greger. We had met him in the bordello, and Peter told us about Jeanette, who they called Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
And I promised you that this does have a happy ending, so let's take a look at the happy ending.
Spell it out, please.
A B C D E F G H I J A B C D E A B A J E A A B C D E F G H I J K L M N.
Gene.
Full name A B C D E A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T. Jeanette. Jeanette.
Peter.
A B C C A B Ken. A B C D E F G H I J K L. Call. A B C D E F G H her. Her. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O.
Is it Robin?
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S. Rose. A B C D E F G H I.
Rosie.
You called her Rosie?
Can you count how old Rosie was, please?
Can you make that noise however old she was? Or is?
Okay. 3. 3? Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
I have a feeling that your whole family is together right now. Is that correct?
Sounds like people running around the
Just a little
room.
footstep.
Probably.
So,
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, we. A, B, R, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Oh, okay, now. You're okay now?
Good. I'm so happy to hear that, Peter, that everyone's okay.
So, a happy ending where a family is reunited. A little earlier in the show, you saw none of the first half. I take it you guys were busy. I need to show you this, so I'm going to go back. Remember the EVP session I did?
Yeah.
Okay, watch what happens during the EVP session. You guys were sitting behind that bar table type thing with the laptop.
Yeah.
I just want to play this for you real quick.
Do you have children, Mr. Shanley? Are your children with you now? Are your children safe? Without the assistance of Cody and Satori, is it possible for you to still make that noise on the floor, that tapping sound?
Interesting.
You're doing it.
That's really cool. That's
You're
really
doing
cool.
it.
Maybe it's
And,
opening something for them to come through and talk, you know?
He had the energy or the wherewithal to do it. What we found out is he lost 3 children, the oldest of which was 9 months old.
Did he
All
say
of them
3
were-
girls in that response? Is that what he said?
Two girls and a boy.
Okay.
2 girls and a boy. And are they okay? I don't know. Are your children with you? No. Which kind of gives context to what he seemed to be tapping out on the floor, using like, okay, I'm going to keep doing this same thing. Now, I'm amplified when I got the headphones on. Nobody's hearing this. So it was enhanced a little bit, you know, but I remember telling them, it's like, you're not getting this. You're not, no, we don't hear anything. So, you know, I don't know if it was right on top of me or not, but I just wanted to play that to you guys because that's something that we asked for. Doesn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on, we're still in the bordello, and it took me the better part of 45 minutes to figure out who Mort was. I had no idea who Mort was. But
Us either.
Yeah, right. This is our introduction to Mort.
About Mort?
Mort.
Who is Mort?
Do you know who Mort is? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, N, M. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Mask?
A mask?
Mort is a mask. Okay.
Oh, he is.
Mort
That's
is
correct.
a mask?
There is a mask downstairs in a case, and that is correct.
So that's what they call Mort?
Yes, that's what they call Mort.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay.
Okay.
I think they also want to know if Mort liked where he is now in his new spot or something.
Do you think so? Okay.
Okay.
That's a good answer. Okay.
Yes.
I still never met him. I don't know.
Would you like to meet him?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Mort.
No.
Oh, no. Nope.
Wow.
That's something.
Wow. Handsome.
That is Mort.
Wasn't expecting that.
I'm sure there's a huge story behind Mort, but whatever. So Mort likes his new home now.
Wow.
Still in the bordello. We talked a little bit about when your session in the corner room kind of went sideways with somebody coming in. And we hear about that a lot. Can a dominant spirit hold another spirit back? Yes. I don't think this was a dominant spirit as much as he was very petulant.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sal came right back to you guys. It's like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a little later on, Cody had an interest in who are these guys? And the names are Adam and Joe. And we gathered this from the owners and other people's experiences there. So they wanted to know, who are the bad men? Who are these guys? Who are we looking out for? Who keeps buggering into us? So this is a couple of minutes long, but this is that session.
Who's the bad man? They wanted they Kelly and Tracy wanted to know who's the bad man. If they know that answer.
Is there a notorious bad man here that everyone kind of knows about? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T.
The Shadow?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, A, B, C, D, E. I'm sorry, Bill, that was so funny. Oh my god. And no, A, B, C, there. A, B, C.
They.
There had to have been one. A, B, C, R.
C.
Oh, it's C. A, B, C, A. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Call. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
Him.
They call him. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, J. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. A, B, C, D, E.
Joe.
A, more. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R.
Or.
A, B, C, D. A, D. A, B, C. Joe or Adam.
Joe or Adam. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no! Don't just say oh no!
What's that mean?
Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Yeah. Because I had already learned of the information of what that was all about. And I was like, no way. No way.
Wow.
That was an incredible moment. Because the owner came shortly after and confirmed about those two, if you remember.
Yep. Yeah, that was crazy.
It was.
That was crazy.
Intense.
So go ahead.
No, that's it. It was very intense. That's why I think I'll never forget the phrase, "Oh my God," for the rest of my life.
We're gonna make sure you don't.
Well, I wonder too, like at the Alley Theater, when y'all were in the basement and y'all met up with the nice guy. I can't remember his name now. And
we don't
one
even,
of you posted.
We don't know what his name is.
I can't. Well, he gave a name. I'll have to go back and look. But
Larry called him asshole. So.
No, not that guy. Larry Krause. That was his name. Larry. And you guys asked, Larry, can you guys see this entity? And the answer was no, which I thought was fascinating because they live in the same space. But he was very much aware and tapped out ass, which I thought was even better. But I'm curious here if that tends to be the case, if they're in different time periods or whatever, if they can typically see other entities or not.
Interesting.
That's a really
hard way to interesting stories. Do you want to tell them the mill story?
Oh, with the
that's a nutty story.
Yeah.
When you start talking about conspiracy each other, that's a weird story.
No, absolutely. So you're talking about the residual spirit that
yeah. And Harold, we asked. I think you guys asked Harold, who's this woman?
Right. Oh, exactly. Yeah. So you want to?
Yeah, I like the way Ken says it, but I can't. So pretty much Harold explained that the female spirit that is often seen there, he's like, saying that, yeah, I see her, but she doesn't talk to anyone. She just keeps doing the same thing. So it's like he's seeing a residual haunting, but he's a haunting in himself. Like he's activity, but he's also seeing activity.
And didn't he say
It's like
something
Inception.
Yeah. Oh, is that?
How many layers down can you go?
Right.
And it's weird you say. So I think Harold, if I'm not mistaken, said that she was like her feet were in the floor or something, didn't she? Like she was sunken down a little bit or something.
Something. He said something like you couldn't see something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
like she was just taking the same path and not paying attention to anybody. Yeah, so he was seeing a residual spirit as well, which is weird.
That's crazy.
I miss Harold.
Right?
Really weird.
A spirit seeing a residual spirit. Yeah, I see her. She don't talk to nobody.
She
Like,
just
stuck
over
up,
and over again.
She's stuck up or something, you know.
She has OCD. She, walks in the same circle 32 times.
Harold was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that guy. He was moving stuff for us.
I
True
know.
story.
We got to go visit him again.
I know. We should. We will.
That was cool.
We're welcome there. Up in the bordello to finish that off, along comes Adam or Joe. And Story has to slap him around again. So let's watch that.
Is Adam his real name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can you give me a last name? Do they know? Yeah? Okay. Oh, you want me to spell? Oh, it's
that thing again.
It's that thing. Go. Go.
Adam on the 3rd floor.
Go. Thank you.
For now.
No, he was just here. The shadow thing you were talking about was just it.
No, but
Can you give us
Something
any
else.
information about who that is? I'll keep pushing them out. I just want to know. Is there anything you can tell us?
Peter.
Or whoever.
Go ahead, just ask.
is Adam in the room in the hallway on the 3rd floor? Is Adam in the room with the soccer ball?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R.
Floor.
S, T, U, V. Moves around.
Moves around.
Okay.
Peter.
I think they just ran away.
All right, let's break for a second.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So crazy.
It is.
It really is.
Reactions.
The reason I said that, because Adam's room is on the 3rd floor and has a soccer ball in there, which the person that was in the home said that he moves it on occasion. And I was wondering, because the name Adam was spelled out earlier. So I was curious if Adam is tied to that room like they said it was. So, but it was confused. It was like, I don't know. And then all that other sound started happening. So I didn't, that was odd.
Yeah.
Sometimes people get assigned names, and we know all about that at Payne House. For the longest time, the little girl's name there was Sarah because a psychic gave it to her 20 years ago. And then, eventually we learned different. So I think we're going to find out that Adam is not who they say he is. He has a different name.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll play that because we have clips from after we signed off. So, they kind of clarified that a little bit for us. And we don't know. I mean, somebody says they're Adam or Joe. So I'll take their word for it. Yeah, I that particular session in the bordello, I mean, it was interesting because I was a little surprised whoever it was wasn't grounded, and they made their way up to the upper floor, and once again they pop in there trying to interfere. And if you notice, it's when they start to ask, who is Adam? Who is Adam? Let's find out who these people are. So it was almost like we took the posture that they don't want to be talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for what they did. We'll tell you a little bit about that, and that's quite a story. And I think you'll understand why we never went in his room. We never gave him our time. We never spoke to him. We had no interest in reaching out to whoever this was. But again, it goes back to once they find out, oh my God, we can communicate,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't get rid of them,
Mm.
you know, except to treat them like a petulant child. Send them off.
Yeah.
Good time to bring George back in now, because we're going to get into a situation that was totally just totally
Fancy George.
mind-blowing. And if you joined us, I guess, for the Oliver House investigation, you saw an example, something we hadn't seen before. Literally, somebody who was in the studio on camera was reached out to by loved ones. And of all places, this happens in New York. So I guess this speaks for itself. I'm going to play the clip, and then we can expound on that where someone makes an entrance. So let's take a look.
Should I say something? Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W. We. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. Woman. A, B.
What, one? Like woman? Like one woman? Okay.
A, B, C, D, E, D. Down.
Downstairs?
There's a woman downstairs.
Do you know her?
Is she, is Peter, is she a living woman?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Is,
A,
okay.
Can you
ask her name. Okay, go ask her. Come right up. Thanks, Peter. Oh, you're back. Did you get a name? Okay, ready? A, B, B. A, B, C, D, E.
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Beverly?
Beverly.
Okay, can I get a last name? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. L, O, P.
That's my mom. That's my mom.
Lopez?
Wow.
Wow.
That's great.
Very emotional.
She was a very sweet woman to talk to. I loved her energy. I loved like how I felt talking to her. Like it was very light and happy. And I just loved her attitude about how she said that she didn't want to put herself into it. So she was just going to hang off to the side. That was really cute.
Even when, because that first part, Peter's doing the communicating, and then you invite mom to come up on the floor, and she didn't want to interfere, as she said. And then you hear her tapping, and she was so diminutive.
Yeah.
And so that tapping fit for what kind of sound she would probably make for that. And it was, my sister's in the chat room now also, Denise. And I sent her the link for this last week, and she and my other sister were both just absolutely blown away by the communication and the validation. And I was telling Ken earlier that as Ken was talking about having a couple of knocking experiences himself, privileged enough that next day I had asked, standing by mom's ashes, could you do the same sound? So I don't know whether or not it's residual energy that you provide for them, But about 30, 45 seconds later, because I stepped away, said, yeah, it's never going to happen. Sure enough, right in front of the ashes on the wood floor, you hear a knock.
Wow. No way.
Only one.
Wow.
But again, they're learning to retain some of the energy that you're providing for them and still be able to communicate thousands of miles away.
That's great.
But
Wow.
it is truly, and I wish again that everyone could have this experience, and many have been blessed already, whether they've been to the Pain House with you guys or the Conjuring House. When you've done these sessions, it is an absolute divine connection to be able to have that time together. And I'm going to say this, and then I'll say no more past this point in time. I scrutinized because I'm supposed to, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing my due diligence. So I went back and looked at all of my social media posts to say, could these kids have this grand scheme? And they went back and looked through all of my Facebook posts and found a picture of that shelf with Mom and my dog Tequila and their ashes being next to each other? Or did I post something after Mom's passing? And I went all the way back to when we were at the Seven Sisters Inn in Ocala, Florida, where Mom was there and John Zaffis was there and Steve DeShavi was there. And we were having this grand old time. And everything after that, if I did a written post about the ash, nothing exists that could have given you guys any type of leeway on this. Ladies and gentlemen, I pretty much have committed to it, but I'm going to say it officially at this point in time. This is 100% legitimate contact with the other side, the kind of contact that we need, the kind of contact that we should have been pursuing for quite some time. And I cannot thank you guys enough for that glimpse of being able to reach out and have Mom reach out to us. So thank you so much on behalf of my family and myself. Thank you so much, Cody Satori. You're a blessing.
Oh, stop
Thank
it.
you. Oh, that's very kind.
I still hate you for being at the Conjuring House. But
Yeah, stop getting real sappy on us.
Going to come around to, and once again, it bears mentioning that there is so much more context to this.
There's my
in the
sister
actual
also saying,
broadcast.
without a doubt, that's my sister right there. Okay.
Hi, Denise. There's so much more context to this and all the other things. They're in the archives, and you can find the broadcast. I mean, it doesn't matter if you scroll fast through it, but this conversation was a good 15, 20 minutes where they talked about George's dog and cat. They're with them, where they were placed, their ashes are together. So there's so much more context to this. I just figured that I'd give everybody a little time to kind of expound on this a little bit, but it's amazing when it happens.
Yeah, it's there's no way to describe it other than the fact that it's a gift. It's what you have as a gift, what you provide is a gift, and whether it's somebody that's here on the show with us, whether it is a property owner, whether it's a simple homeowner, whether it's part of the Rise Up team, this has happened time and again, and it should be something that all of you that are watching this either live or you're watching post live understand that they are around you, that they sense your feelings, they sense your thoughts of them, and they're able to pick up on it. They may not have that solo capability to present certain things to you. And yet we all talk about the synchronicity of I'm thinking about them and their favorite song comes on the radio, things of that sort. Or a relative calls me right when I'm thinking about them. Who is the intercedent? Who is the person that's making that connection happen? They're always around us, and it's a blessing. And at least understand that it's always with us. That's what's amazing.
Yeah,
That is extremely helpful to say. We wish we could bring somebody through for everybody, but it's just not possible because we can't control it. So to say that is very helpful to that situation because they are around, whether we're there to make knocking noises for them or not. So exactly.
And I think showing this kind of brings comfort to people because if it's happening for you, that means they're out there for other people as well. So I definitely think everyone has at least somebody following them and kind of helping them out and guiding them in the right direction.
Yeah,
Go ahead, George.
I say one last thing to add on that too. Back years and years ago here on Dead Air, we did something called the Summer of Spirit Box, and we were doing these communications with family members of viewers and people on the show. And the one thing I basically coined was spirit email, which was anytime that you want to communicate with your loved ones, just speak aloud. Now, you really don't have to, and certainly don't do it in public because people, they'll put you away. But the rest of the time, just think and say something to them, thinking of you. It's a special day, whatever it may be. They can pick up on that, and you may get some sort of a subtle message back. You never know. But you want to communicate, I miss talking to my fill in the blank. You can do it.
Yeah.
And they can hear you.
Look at the way, it's happened a few times, and you guys mentioned it, on how, sometimes spirit can read thoughts, and then, like Ken or somebody's thinking of something and then it just comes through. I think it's the same way when you're going about your everyday business. Maybe you're driving in the car and you start thinking about, a loved one that's passed away. It's kind of like a phone call, a phone ringing on the other side saying, hey, so-and-so is thinking about you. I don't think they're stuck here. Definitely not. I've never come into a situation out of the hundreds of times we've done this now, where someone says I'm stuck here and I need help moving on or whatever. The only situation that's happened has been in a way that you probably wouldn't expect. Maybe like somebody who was lost or something like that and couldn't find their way, which we've had some kind of funny stories about that. But I think that they're in a good place somewhere. And once in a while they come and visit you, and especially when you're thinking about them. And sometimes they may show different signs and do things. I think everything happens for a reason, and I think spirit has a lot to do with those reasons. And they kind of lead you in a different way. Maybe if you forget something at home and you have to turn around, sometimes I think that maybe that happened on purpose to avoid a car accident or something like that. So always go with your gut, and don't be upset if you ever forget something at home, because maybe they're saving your life or something. You
never know. It bears mentioning too that when we're around these sessions, sometimes they're prolonged. We're asking for Peter Greger or James Shanley or Abigail Arnold or something, and you go in there with a specific focus, and then somebody will come through. But those people are never turned away. Mm-hmm. So what would be a 5-minute, let's just find out who's here, suddenly becomes a 20-minute session because someone comes through and there's a message. And they're allowed to get that message across. Everything can go on hold because, as Cody and Satari have said many times, this is their feeling of why they do it. They come across people naturally, organically, and then someone comes through for a message. Well, wherever we are, wherever we're doing, that kind of gets pushed to the side. We'll come back to Peter and James and everybody else, but space is made always for those people who walk through that door to send a message. And I know sometimes it takes a little out of them. I understand, but they always make room for that. We'll get back. We'll take a break and we'll get back to the other stuff later.
So Aaron, you had something to say too?
I had a question. Of the hundreds of times that you two have done this, and you are at a location and you have a situation like the Shanley where you have family members coming in, like George's mom, do you find that oftentimes those people needed it for whatever reason? Like, it seems to me where, if somebody's got something going on, like George's, dad's been having some stuff going on and think, like, do you feel like the spirits are aware of who needs it the most, and that's when they choose to present themselves to you guys to deliver that message no matter where they are?
Yes, I think so. We've read multiple people where spirits have come through and said things to them, and then come to find out it was like their birthday the next day, and that person was thinking about them, or the anniversary of their death, or maybe they were taking it really hard. But also on the flip side, I can't go into detail about this, but we've had spirits come through that have told us that they're there, but they do not want their loved one knowing they're there because it would do more harm than good. So we've
Exactly.
had it on both ends, like things like that. So they definitely know when something's going on with their loved one.
And you know, we don't know everybody's, you know, personal lives and things like that, but I know that you know, like whenever we've gone out and done things with Rise Up and stuff like that, somebody's come through for pretty much every single one that's on the team, and they come through at different times. You
Even
know,
us.
they didn't come all through yeah, exactly. They didn't come all together in one night for everybody that was there. It was kind of sporadic. So maybe everybody was kind of going through their own thing at that certain time, and they needed the message at that time in their lives, I guess. Because you know, why wouldn't all of them come through at once? Maybe there's something beyond, you know, our comprehension, or maybe that person just needed it at that moment. So I definitely think we meet people, cross their paths on purpose, and usually at the beginning we were just kind of doing this, trying to figure it out, and kind of doing it for random people and, you know, friends that were part of us, and it wouldn't always work out, you know. There'd be some people there and nothing would come through for them, and they kind of get disappointed, and we of course felt bad for them. But once we figured out that if we do it for people that, you know, just cross our paths naturally, people who aren't expecting us to be there, or just do it for you know, just ride the wave and just do it whenever we're at some place, usually there's a message that makes sense for someone.
No, I don't buy any of that at all. I have a feeling that my mom's probably been trying to do this with you guys for God knows how many years now, and she sees the line out the door waiting to communicate, and mom just goes, "Oh, hell no, I'll come back next time." And she just,
That's actually really funny you say that, because we've had spirits go and for example, here at the Conjuring House, Abigail Arnold, if somebody sometimes comes through that's not with the house, Abigail is always like the one to go and like answer these people, get them next in line to talk to us to get the message across. So it's almost like take a ticket and wait kind of situation.
And especially with your mom, just that one night when she was, you know, we learned that she was kind of waiting away from everybody else. Maybe she was doing that at other locations, and the gentleman that we were talking to up there, was it Peter, I believe, you know, he noticed her and just happened to say something, and you know, this was the first time that someone actually you know,
pushed her to
and pushed her forward. So
you got to get into those 5 sentences or less express line.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Is there a fast pass for this ride?
Really?
Exactly, sis. Yeah, mom would be that way. She'd just be, and like I said this last when we did the live show. When mom would come with us, we've been to Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, the Stanley Hotel with her, Rolling Hills Asylum, and she would always be in the background. She would always be at home base or do little things for herself while she was investigating, but never wanted to be in the forefront. And it just fits her persona. Absolute. It's incredible.
She got some spotlight. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I just want to say this quickly. For what happened on the 16th, it changed my life forever on a personal level. I can't tell you that what you do in reaching out to people who may be watching right now and listening to what George said earlier. For me, it was a profound moment because it actually gave me more faith and more hope. And knowing that I've lost people around me, and a lot's happened since this investigation happened in my life on a paranormal level. So I can't thank both of you, all of you, enough. Because that experience actually is something that I will take for the rest of my life to heart. And I get a little emotional because it was a very real experience. You know, like George said earlier, it's 100%. I agree with him 100% behind both of you, all of you, because it's a group effort. And I can't say enough of how much I want to personally thank you, all of you, for having me there to be part of the investigation.
Glad it worked out.
You guys are getting too sappy. I'm gonna go cry.
I want to let everybody know you are watching Dead or Live on the Dead or Full Spectrum channel. Don't forget, guys, to hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button. This is the post-mortem of the evidence review of the Shanley Hotel Live investigation. We will be concluding on KGRA here in about 3 minutes or so, but we will be continuing. We've got a lot more evidence to get to for tonight. And once again, those of you on KGRA can switch to Dead or Full Spectrum or watch this show in its rerun or replay almost immediately right after we're done here. So make sure you guys are aware of that. This was a question, Cody Satori. How shocked were you that you found that it was George's mom?
Well, it's strange when we do these readings and we're getting the name and we're just in the mode. Like, we just want to get the name because we're like, is this historical? Is this something? And then when we heard you say, that's my mom, I don't know, but part of me was just like, here we go again after the last situation.
I think this is the second time this has happened. Third time, if you want to count when you sent somebody to us at the Alley Theater. So I guess, George, so I guess this is the third time that it's happened, and you never expect when it's going to happen. No. Especially when it's random, when you're not asking, when you're not sending somebody to us, and somebody just comes through for somebody virtually, which is really weird. It was strange with Alyssa because she's in California and we were in Massachusetts, so that's weird. Yeah. Strange with you, you're in Florida, and you know your mom came to Massachusetts, so it's weird. It's so mind-boggling how that works.
It's organic, and that's what makes it special. God, the minute you start keying up and saying, okay, on our Twitter account, give us your name and the loved one you want to reach, and we'll start doing that sequentially, I think it takes away from the blessing behind it. And there's no way of really knowing at that point in time, too, whether or not those spirits are available for whatever reason. I want to speak to my cousin. Well, your cousin maybe never crossed, or they're stuck, or they don't like you. I mean, we just don't know the reasons behind that. And this gives it so much more of a palatable connection when it's, they're making the effort from that side. It wasn't even something that I was expecting or thinking of, or I didn't, send a spirit email to mom and say, they're going to be up there at the Shanley, try and communicate. We did that with Amanda. Yeah. And that was just a test case with Amanda, and that came through. But she's always been an investigator, so it kind of worked out well. But just keep doing what you're doing.
But the rules of the physical existence that we have here now may not apply on the other side. Time and space may not operate the way we think it does on the other side. Yeah. So fast distances means nothing on the other side.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that whole thing, like, George was just saying, that's one of the main reasons why, at least for Satori and I, we can never put a price on something like this ever. We can't promise somebody's going to come through, and we personally just don't believe that, a message from your loved one, should have a price on it, And that's why, you will never see us do gallery readings or anything remotely like that. We'll always do it just like we're doing it now. And we think that's the best way. We have a lot of friends that, are mediums and stuff, and they make their living off of that. But that's, in my opinion, I mean, some people group us in the same category, but I think it's a totally different thing. It's a psychic or a medium, in my opinion, is a totally different thing than what we're doing. I guess you can call what we do a type of like physical mediumship or something, but I just think it's a different category.
For those on KGRA Digital Broadcasting on the audio side, we're going to continue to the stream on KGRA Facebook, Dead Air Full Spectrum on YouTube, KGRA website. So keep on watching the show. For all those on the audio side, join us. If not, have a great rest of your night and have a great upcoming holiday weekend. Till next time, have a great night.
Yeah. What was that jingle? And then all of a sudden, Satori's laughing. Did you see a clown car go by or something?
No. So it's motion detection on the property, and I look over and I think I saw a big fat possum running across the. I was like,
better
oh,
that than a Fisher cat.
Yeah, we have a breach.
Bill, I just wanted to address you. First of all, you're welcome. I mean, and we hope that we can do it again. It was a lot
I
of fun.
definitely want to participate again. There's no doubt.
But I get such a thrill now sitting in a corner watching them do what they do and watching someone's reaction who's seeing it for the first time, because I know what you're going through. You know, I know all the things that are going around in your head.
I was freaking out.
I know all those oh my God moments, you know. So
you're having to like pick the jaw off the floor.
I
know what that's like, and they know it's like on the times that when they come along with us, if we do something at the Conjuring House, it's a running joke. It's like this Codian story. They do a thing, you know, because you don't want to explain it because you want people to like see it for the first time. So I know what that's like when it just changes your outlook on things, which is why I say when we're at a location, sometimes these sessions are prolonged because these kind of things happen. And the last thing that they'd ever want to do is just kind of like, all right, you know, go wait your turn over there. We're talking to James Shanley now. It's like, James isn't going anywhere. He can wait, you know.
But the thing was the emotional roller coaster with Kelly, the owner, and she's sitting there and hearing this right there in the room. And, you know, the son is communicating directly through them to her.
Right.
And then later on in that room with that, whatever that thing was, that not so good feeling thing. And then to see what happened with Peter and the children and then George. And it was like, it was unbelievable.
You know what I got to say about that?
Oh my God.
But it's just,
oh my God.
If one person experiences one moment, it's incredible. But this was continual. And it was a very emotional experience. I can't emphasize it enough to being there and seeing this for myself and hearing how it's relating to all these people. And it's just mind-boggling. And like I said, that's why it affected me. Ken, this is
our world.
Hey, Bill. Can you please, from now on, if we ever want to explain anything to anybody about what we do or anything that happened, can you please be the one to describe it? Because it's just like so much fun.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And this and that, I love it. I love it so much.
But it's the truth. It comes from my heart. It's passionate. It's real.
Passionate. Exactly. I love it.
I can't, like I said, I've been doing streams on my own personal about this to try to tell people you cannot imagine what I experienced. And personally, I'm just going to say it. I don't care if people believe it or not. I take this experience from myself. I'm getting the chills. And it has affected me, like I said, for the rest of my life. And when we were on the air, I said to Erin, you know what this is like. Like Ken said, it's my first time. Ken is watching me, and Ken goes to me after. Ken, Bill, he says, Bill, this is the first time. This is the way it is. It happened to me too. You get used to it. I'm like, what? I could never get used to this. Are you kidding me?
I agree. You can't get used to it. And I tell people all that, like, I have a girlfriend who's watching the stream that's not seen you guys do your thing before. And I'm like, as we say in the South, y'all grip your feet. But it's such a profound thing to witness. I mean, even if for somebody like me who's a sensitive, who gets information, I don't care if I watch it 4,000 times, if it's in person or on the internet. It literally makes my head blow off my shoulders because it's just the most profound thing. And like Bill said, it changes your life. I found that my fear of death and fear of things like that disappeared afterwards.
Yes.
Things, it's an absolute answer that life, that energy continues once we are no longer in this particular meat suit. And that's a pretty profound thing to be able to allow people to experience. And then Cody and Satori are like, A, B, C, D. Can somebody get me a peanut butter sandwich? Because this is like a normal day. You know what I mean? Because this is what they do all the time.
That's what I was going to say, because after give it 4 or 5 years and we're so used to it by now that we're just like, okay, how many times do you want to hear the alphabet in one sitting? Like we're just so used to it that we're not even caring about it. I think one of the best things that we ever did was decided to show all of you guys, like the night we were like, are we going to show Ken this? Because it's going to come out to the public anyway. And so like
Yeah.
we just decided let's just show them. And I think from there it's been the best decision we've made, you guys. It's so funny. I love it.
Who's had the best reaction? Because I know we were going to do this in your Patreon show, but now I'm just dying. Who's had the most outlandish, beside Bill, outrageous, ridiculous reaction to what you guys can do?
Now I got to think. My
Yeah,
answer is Bill.
I have to think. Well, I think Ken was funny because when we showed Ken, he didn't say one word to us. He just walked around and he just like stared. And then the footsteps as he's walking towards whoever was standing there, they walked away from him like, dude, why are you coming so close to me right now? And then like Ken was like, wait, it actually just moved. So I think that was funny because it was like they were trying to observe each other in the moment.
Yeah, that was probably one of the
I
most.
found myself walking around in a circle, following the footsteps.
No, I just. But for me, it was like I'm sitting in the chair, right, and they're standing right in front of me, and all of a sudden, from the seance room, I hear boom, 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 boom. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, and you can see me. I don't know if you can see me on the camera. I'm like, I'm trying, because seriously, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm really trying to figure it out until I gave up about 3 minutes later when I hear the sounds coming from underneath their feet. But what really was the icing on the cake was in the basement. We're all standing in the basement.
Bill, you're so fired up right now.
Tori says, somebody said something touched me, and I'm like, oh my God. So that's
Oh my God.
But then
You were shot.
But to hear the sound coming from underneath the concrete slab in front of the toilet, and there's only like 6 feet for all of us to ski around, I said, that's it. That's it. That's it.
Bill, the first time I got to see this live, we were in Attleboro, Massachusetts. And at one point, after my jaw had to be picked up off the floor like a whole bunch of times, we got some information from one of the spirits there who was trying to thank somebody. And we literally, all of us, and there were 6 or 7 of us, running around all 4 floors trying to find a particular chair with a particular tiny plaque on it. Like, the ability you guys have makes people who don't like to run a lot to find stuff and do dumb, silly stuff that they wouldn't normally do because we're too lazy.
And the
Bill,
funny thing
just
is,
so you know, Bill, that was my typical reaction to most things.
Then he calls me.
Just my excited face.
I want to
Cody
see
and Satori. You might not be aware of the fact, but the day after, the morning after you showed Ken for the first time, this is his process, because I don't think you guys ever experienced this with Ken, but he says, I got to talk to you and figure this out and wrap my head around this. And then we finally called me and explained it to me, and he was just speechless, which is a rare thing for Ken. So that tells you again, he was processing everything you guys showed him from the
You know
night
how
before.
they
It
have
was
flat
amazing.
earthers, and I say, you know what? Take a flat earther and set them in a rocket and see how they experience knowing that the earth is round. I say we get the biggest skeptic, put them in a room with Cody and Satori, and I bet you they'll go batshit crazy after a while because they're not going to know what the hell to think.
We're all thinking of the same guy.
We've done it for skeptics, like on certain occasions. If we feel like, okay, we're not going to prove ourselves to you, but we'll let you watch it. So we've done it, and then at one point they were like, okay, if you take your shoes off, then I'll be questioning it. So we took our shoes off and handed it to him, and then we did it, and it still happened. And then he said, I'm going to go have a cigarette, and then he got in his car, and then he drove away.
Wow.
So I know.
That's great. I love it. Mission accomplished.
That worked out well.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to see another clip?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh shit. Hey, we're okay. Now you're going to get into the part that, we're off because we're like really kind of screwing around here now. So, because that's just kind of how we are. So we do have a lot of fun doing this. But now I'm going to go up and talk to the mobster. So I want to tell you about this hallway where the lights are. This is pitch dark. Now, Bill's camera illuminates this. Looks like a Tim Burton movie, but it's pitch dark in this hall right now. And you're going to see Bill being Bill and Julie. They're walking by these There's tripwire motion sensors, and they don't activate them at all. So a couple of minute clips, so to give you an idea what these things are capable of doing, and it's kind of cool. Here we go.
Oh my God, I got a chill. Where's the camera? I don't know where the camera is. Where is the camera that's looking at this? That's mine. Where's the camera?
There's one in the other room, but there's not one in the hallway.
So what the heck was showing all the lights on?
Oh, maybe
Mine is not on.
the room in the corner. You can probably see the lights from the corner. Actually,
They're going off.
Yep. Yep.
They're going all off.
Right here. This is right here. You're getting some light from the lights. Right here.
But how did we able to they can only see?
That's live streaming, so they can see the lights here going off.
But it was going off the whole wall.
It's not your camera? I don't know.
What are they looking at?
I don't know.
Can we see what they're looking at from here?
These are going off. These are going off right now. These are going off right now.
This is a lot. It's going off a lot.
Yeah.
This is where Adam's room is. Right across the hall. Adam, are you up here? Are you the one doing all these lights? Is this you, Adam? Joe? Time out. Time out. Julie, you're in chat. Julie's in chat. When we got up to that hallway, maybe my camera's not picking it up properly. That was going insane as we were walking down that hallway. It was going off like Christmas lights, and it wouldn't stop. We went into the room. Julie knows this. It didn't look like it did in the film, but ask Julie. It was going insane when we were up there, and it wouldn't stop. And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? They're going off like crazy. Julie knows. She was up there with me. So, Julie, you got to say something. You got to come forward. You got to.
Bill, if you're going to be on the air with us, you need to be a little more animated, sir.
Because the camera doesn't tell the story.
Bill, I can relate because
One screen
we
cannot
had something
hold
happen
it.
at the Conjuring house that was
He
like
doesn't
that, and I
recall.
was just so I can relate to your reactions.
She just said she doesn't recall. You don't remember us going up in the hallway and the lights were going nuts as we were walking to that room?
Bill, don't fight with people in chat. It's not a good look.
Oh my gosh.
Julie, I'm old.
Okay. When I go to events and cons and people ask me what kind of paranormal investigator do you really want to be like, or what paranormal investigator do you look to? And I'm sitting here like, now I want it to be Bill. I'm gonna say Billy just because I just love it. I love your energy. You're so funny,
Very
and you don't even
enthusiastic,
try to be. You're just so funny. Do you remember when they said at the Shanley, Kelly or somebody went, "Your room's very active. Stuff happens in there," and you gave her the most intense side eye I have ever seen in my.
You know why? You know why? He said you're sleeping under Adam's room. That's why. And I was like, what? How did I end up with that room? Tell me that. No.
Oh, jeez.
That's
Three
right.
straws. For those of you who stayed with us tonight, you're getting pretty much a look at how things go during the night when we're doing these things. So,
Well, but I would think you guys are always around. You're always around such experienced people. It's probably nice to have new fresh blood like me and Bill, who have no clue what the hell's going on most of the time.
Well, I am going to play a clip for you that I'm not going to play to its conclusion because you get the idea, and then I got a great Bill story to tell you about this
Another one?
Yeah, we're in the mobster's room now.
Oh,
no. We're in Joe's room.
Joe's room.
lights.
Right. We're in Joe's room, and I got to tell this story, but we'll set this up with a clip.
Okay, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not trying to get into your business, but why do you stay here? No, I understand. I know you've seen people do this before where they're trying to record your voice, so hey, why not? I'm going to try to do the same thing. In my life, I've been around what's called good people, bad people. There you go, thank you. I don't think maybe you want to frighten anybody here. So, let me ask you a simple question, Joe. Is it just that, you just want to be left alone? Is this something that bothers you to some degree? Okay. All right, listen, I understand.
Joe, we mean no disrespect. You know that, right? We're not here to be disrespectful. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're not here to judge anybody. I don't know what you did. To be honest with you, respectfully, I don't really care. I mean, I'm just being straight with you. But let me ask you this. Joe, you hear all the time. If you're here all the time, make a bunch of lights come on. You see what you can do. So we'll talk like that. Are you here all the time? Huh. All right. So you have your reasons why you can't leave. Maybe we can tell a different story. Again, like I was telling you before, I understand the code when it's not any of anybody's business. If people come in here and they start talking about this stuff, I don't blame you for being pissed off. No, I really don't.
If it wasn't Ken doing that talking, I would have left that room minutes ago.
So here's a couple of guys decide to come in and talk to a mob hitman, right? So we're like, hey, Joe, what's going on? How you doing? So now I'm getting responses. I'm reaching out. I think I'm reaching them. I think I'm getting them now. Joe, you want your name out of everybody's mouth? I understand. Maybe we can tell a different story here. What you don't see is Bill walks in the room while I'm having a conversation. We're bonding. I'm bonding with the hitman. He's answering my questions. Bill comes into the room, sits down, and goes, "So, Joe, did you ever whack anybody here at the Shanley?" And Julie and I'm looking at him like, Thank you for pissing on the birthday cake, Bill.
But see, I learned from that moment.
But then you toned like, I meant no disrespect, Joe. I meant no disrespect. Because I know you thought he was gonna like come at you, right?
No, I'm actually learning.
You had to sleep there that night.
I'm taking what you're saying, and I'm learning. I'm learning real time. Like I should not be asking those kind of questions.
Yeah.
But
it's a learning curve,
It is a learning curve.
Probably not, but that's okay. We dealt with it. I think when we looked at you, you had to look like, what? What? Is that tab? What?
What did I walk into? Oh my God. But seriously, it was incredible how it was running. I felt almost like saying, "Hey, Abbott!" I felt like Costello, like looking at the floor, it was bizarre. I'm looking at the floor, and I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at the floor, and I'm like, it was incredible. It was intense the way it was responding to. It really was. For real. Yeah. But it reminded me of Abbott and Costello fell in my head. I'm like,
you're looking at the lights. You're looking at me. You're looking at the lights. You're looking at me. You're looking at the lights. You're looking at me.
I'm like, I wanted to say, "Hey, Abbott, what's going on?"
That's called the North Providence accent.
No, but yeah, well, my New York. I thought since I'm in New York, I could relate. Forget about it. with Joe. Maybe we can. You know what I mean?
I mean no disrespect.
Right. I mean no disrespected, but
The
did
most
you
New York
off
sentence of all
anybody
time.
here at the hotel? No disrespect, man. Did you ever kill anybody here? No disrespect.
God, Bill, we love you.
Bodies in the basement. Oh my gosh. Oh man, but no.
I thought I was going to be killed in my sleep that night.
I'm gonna make a shirt. I have
Let's talk about bootlegging.
Uh-oh.
Let's talk about bootlegging.
Let's just jump to one illegal act to the other.
All right. So speaking of the mob,
I'm gonna have to
right?
die laughing.
Right. So Cody and Storia called down in the basement, and they found something that they weren't aware of down there. Remember that, Bill? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is what they found out during Prohibition, when all sorts of illegal stuff was going on there.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Trap?
Trap?
There's a trap?
They're trapped.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, H, I. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Down. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Door? There's a trap door?
It's a trap. Okay.
Do you guys know of a trap door here? There's one that exists physically. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, L. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, Q, R, L, M,
L-I. L-I-R.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R,
Q.
S. Liquor?
Liquor.
Trap door for liquor?
Secret.
Wow.
Secret room. So that's what that was used for?
So was there a trap door to get into that room?
Wow.
Trap door for liquor. Prohibition during this, there were speakeasies that people had, people were going to drink, and that's all there was to it. So you had a little thing going on there. So I think that was news to them as well, that it still exists. The longer clip is behind a bar, right, Cody? Came down from the
the bar's no longer there, but it's near where they keep the coffee and stuff now.
Yeah. So pretty cool little tidbit of information for them. Oh, I missed something here. One of the group was physically brutally attacked, apparently, coming down from the bordello. So we don't have the attack on camera, but we have the aftermath of it. And I just want to show you this right now.
Julie? Julie left Annabelle up here.
That's my room right there. Maybe we'll accidentally forget her here. You okay?
I felt like somebody just tried pushing me down the stairs.
That's not good. That wasn't very nice, guys.
No. I caught myself on the railing.
Cody, you're trying to push Johnny down the
I
stairs.
go down the stairs and I go like this and I grabbed the railing and I felt like somebody just tried pushing me down the stairs.
That was George's mother running away.
I don't know. I've never heard anybody being under physical attack and giggling about it. Like, Tori, what happened? Tell us what happened there.
Felt like at first I thought I was gonna fall, and then I realized my feet were firmly planted, so I felt the top part of me. Like it felt like somebody was like going like that, and so I grabbed the railing, and I was like, And so I was like, somebody just tried pushing me down the stairs. But I think I'm just so used to, if it was spirit in any way, like, I think I'm just so used to, like, interacting with them to the point where I'm just like, that was rude. Like, you didn't have to do that. Instead of me freaking out claiming that I'm getting attacked by, like, anything.
This is right after Bill taunted the hitman.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
It's my fault. It's all Bill's fault.
I was more scared about the fact that I looked in the room and saw Julie's Annabelle doll sitting there. I was like, Julie?
It's terrifying.
Creepy. Oh, my goodness gracious.
That was scary.
We weren't
Cody,
done in the
if you end
basement
up-
yet, though. Go ahead, Darren.
I was just gonna say on Annabelle, if I find that thing and wherever I'm sleeping at the farm while I'm there, I will cry and quit.
Jesus, why don't you just put a target on your back now?
Well, I knew it was gonna be there anyway, so I will cry a lot.
By the way, did you hear that tapping? It was coming through a concrete slab. Did I mention that earlier? For real. I was like freaking out. But yeah, if I would have known about this little activity, things might have been different on how I would have slept or whatever for the rest of the night. I'm just telling you that right now. I'm glad I didn't know about this part.
Did you sleep? Did you fall asleep, Bill?
I slept with the lights on for a little while, but then I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. I slept fine. I did. I didn't.
Did you have any activity while you slept, Ken?
Yeah, we'll have to get into this at the end of this about things that happened overnight, Bill. But we weren't done in the basement yet because Bill put a camera down there overnight. Now, mind you, this is 2-3 o'clock in the morning. We're all in our rooms. The owner and her assistant, they're in their rooms. And this is what happened to Bill's camera downstairs. Let's show it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. It has a live follow feature.
Wow.
I watch. It freaked me out when I saw these clips after.
It's supposed to follow shadow activity. So
Yes.
we're not done yet.
It's trying to follow.
What?
Look at this.
Is this your new camera, Bill? The fancy one?
No, this is the Mevos.
Got
The
it.
little ones on the stands.
Wow.
But it kept focusing on that wall where the room is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's trying to zoom in. You know what I mean? It's doing this all on its own.
That's a mobster down there. It's a big guy in a pinstripe suit. He has a hat. Older, 60s, big nose.
Do you have them all, Ken?
Yeah.
This is wait till you see. It's crazy.
Okay, and then there's a 6-second clip of it doing something funky again.
This bugged me out. It swings.
Oh.
Swing. It swings. How does
Now,
that
ladies and gentlemen, we're in our rooms. Nobody's down in this basement. And Bill's camera just starts going funky on us down there. Pretty cool.
That's weird.
That is
Pretty cool. So we're rounding, we're getting down. That's exactly, yeah, exactly. So now these are the things that you didn't see: the basement, the Mevo camera. And now we come to the gentleman's room where we really got the inside dope on what's going on here. By this time, we're all just about tapped for the night. Steve is on the bed snoring. So if there's any growling, it's nothing demonic or anything like that. It's just Steve snoring. And then eventually you'll see that Mr. Shanley takes note of Steve snoring. But all right, so the silliness keeps going. Here we go.
Can I ask you a question just about you? What was your favorite thing to do when you were alive?
Bowling.
Really?
Bowling.
Yeah?
We even had a bowling alley built here.
What's your favorite color? A, B, blue. Good choice.
Good choice.
What was your favorite food? I'm asking you all the hard questions. Favorite food? A, B.
B?
A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E, F. Beef?
Beef.
Beef was his favorite. Okay. Good to know.
Important information.
Yeah, no, it's
That's
the
my
inside
favorite stuff.
Yeah,
It's my
no,
favorite.
you can't get this anywhere from here. You know, he liked bowling
and beef,
blue, and beef. The three
and probably
Bs.
beer.
When I walked into the room, I saw an interaction with Cody and Satori. Did I catch this right? Did it say time for bed or go to sleep or something like that?
Yeah, it said something like go to sleep.
On its way.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Okay. I was bugging out on that. Guess what? Bill went to bed right after that. I left.
And then the next thing is we find out that they had friends in high places because the Roosevelts kept James Shanley out of prison.
So we're talking Mr. Shanley? Mr. Shanley, were you friends with Eleanor Roosevelt?
He's proud of that. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, they visited here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, H, A, B, C, D, E, here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, F, J, K, L, help. Help. A, B, C, D, E. They helped you? With this place? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, H, I, J, A, J, A, jail?
Jail? Helped you get out of jail?
I told you they got raided. You got arrested.
That's right.
Oh, and they and
Roosevelts were friends
Was
with the
that,
president.
James, was that
Correct.
was
Yeah.
was that you and John Powers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't blame you.
Oh, it's a good person.
Wow.
Ghost gossip.
He was giving us
Right?
all the dirty details. It doesn't matter.
Giving you the tea.
Yeah. Yeah. This was the good stuff. And then
That's
we
so
found
cool.
out a little bit about Adam, who he was. You can see like Cody's already laying on the bed. And then as soon as somebody taps, he'll sit up. All right, we learned a little bit more about Adam and what his story was. So we'll tell you a little bit about that. Kind of a bummer, but
Are we talking to somebody we've talked to before? James. Hey, James.
Hi, Mr. Shanley. How are you tonight?
Good. It's good. We're all doing good. Beautiful place. Thank you for inviting us in.
No, we all felt very welcome here tonight. We got to talk to some of the, let's call them, residents here.
You did.
A, B, C, D, D, A, B, Adam, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I,
Is.
A,
Word A.
B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, A, L, A, B, C, B, A, B, C.
Albert. Adam is Albert.
Yes.
So the thing with that clip, though, is after that he corrected himself. Remember that?
It was Alfred, right?
Yeah, he said actually it's Alfred, but his excuse was I didn't know the guy. So it was kind of funny that he was like,
Right.
I don't know.
It's like, meanwhile, Julie's got the camera on me and Steve laying on the bed there. I have no idea. I'm just kind of like, you know.
Yeah,
okay, so the deal on this guy, I hate to be a downer, but this might give you an insight why we didn't bother with this guy. This is documented because in that room, they have a scrapbook of newspaper clippings. And my wife and Dawn was kind of going through them, kind of proving everything out. This guy, Alfred, was his actual name, and he murdered the 9-year-old daughter of a pastor.
Wow.
And I don't know what his connection to the hotel is. Sometimes, I don't know, these places are like beacons and lighthouses, and people just wander in, you know, because it would appear to me that after this guy is convicted, he's not welcome anywhere. So I don't know if he was a prior guest, apparently. I mean, it's not like there's guest books lying around, but maybe this was like some kind of a sanctuary for him, or he thought it was. But the unfortunate part about this, to me, and I'm just going to editorialize for a minute, is the same thing with Joe. Because when these things become notorious, people want to go. That's like the first stop. We got to go up on the 3rd floor where the murderer and the hitman are. Okay. I just hang on. I just been handed a news note. What is it? Okay. Can you? Am I still? You still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm told by our reporter on the scene that when he committed the murder, he was staying at the Shanley.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so that's the connection. Dawn got that. She was going through the newspaper clippings.
Really?
She read that, and he was staying there while he committed this murder.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. I mean, and I don't know if the pastor was staying there as well. I'm not sure.
That's interesting because my original thought was before I knew this information was, maybe
Aaron,
he was
you got two screens up.
It's gone.
Okay, it's gone now. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Cody.
So my original thought was maybe he was like invoked or something and kind of called in. Maybe he never stepped foot into the hotel or something. Because if you think about
Apparently
it,
not.
Yeah, because maybe my original thought was maybe somebody just mentioned his name
Or
and
brought
then
negative energy there.
it just kind of stuck, and then people keep saying, are you here, so and so, and then they eventually come, and then they end up staying. But that's interesting to know that he actually stayed there.
So now I'm at putting together, does he go by Adam because people call him that because they think he's somebody else, or does he like having a different name to have a new identity from the one that he was guilty of?
Yeah, I wouldn't rule that out. It makes as much sense as anything because he's being called Adam by Peter Greger and others. Shanley knew, though, that it's not Adam, it's Albert or whatever. So maybe he registered under a false name because this was premeditated. Maybe the pastor was staying there as well, and this was a way to get close to the victim. I don't know.
Maybe he checked in on a different name to the hotel or something.
An alias. An alias.
Right. So this is why, I regret that, I didn't get into the newspaper clippings. Dawn did. But, not to end this on a bummer note, but just a little context as far as why, the steps were taken that we did. And, to finish that thought, people are going to go in there and accentuate people like Joe and Alfred because it's cooler or whatever the case may be. So I guess, be careful. Don't empower people like that to come through and speak and, because they, a guy like that deserves to burn in hell and just be put on an island somewhere where no one ever talks to him. So Cody, Satori, I mean, again, no interest really in entertaining whoever was banging on the floor, and recognizing them. So that's kind of that. You guys got any last thoughts on that particular thing? We'll get into the personal experiences.
I don't know. I don't have time for people like that. I've talked to a couple. I think we've talked to a couple people that have been committed for really serious crimes. We've talked to some of them in spirit, and like some of them, are regretful of what they've done, and they've come through just to confess things that they wouldn't
remember
have
that
confessed.
prison that we did, and the guy came through and was like,
Somebody, yeah. So he admitted that he stabbed somebody, and when he did that, we asked him. We were like, "Okay, well, are you regretful of that? Like, do you regret doing that?" He said, "No, I'm regretful. I got caught."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, so some people are never changed,
But he wasn't, as forward as
He wasn't mean though.
Yeah, he was just talking like a regular person, and we took the time to talk to him because he was being respectful, unlike whatever was there or wherever that was. So
right.
I don't know. We just don't have time for that, I guess. We'd rather talk to people that want to say something.
Okay. Chicken and the egg thing, you talked about it before. When that banging starts, are you reacting to the banging, or is it already in your head that this is not somebody we want to talk to?
Kind of a little of both, yeah. It's weird to describe it. Like, you just get a feeling that something's a little off.
Like in your gut, like in your stomach, you just feel a little.
It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel
Right.
like warm and happy like all the other times. And thankfully, 95% of the people that come through, probably even more than that, are good. So you get used to that feeling. And then when something feels a little off, automatically you just know. And you can tell by the feeling, the sound of it. It's weird because every spirit that comes through has a different sound. Like when George's mom walked through, it has a different sound. When that thing came through, it was loud and very forceful.
Angry.
The kids running around.
The kids running around.
Gentle.
So you kind of get a feeling for everything, and you just kind of know. I think if we didn't get that feeling, you just knew, because we're trying to talk to it. It's still just knocking over and over and over again, and kind of interrupting us in a way. So yeah, it just it's a little of both.
Yeah. Weird thing, but hey, listen, all these hotels at some point, they see tragedy. You hope it's nothing as grotesque as something like this, where a little girl was killed, but that's what happened there. And maybe Adam or Albert or Alfred, whoever he is grounded there because he doesn't want to move on to the next level,
right?
To be judged, or so he's in his own little world there. So
maybe he considers it that is his safe space in that place.
Yeah, I still say you don't give people like that time of day. So, wrapping this up, this is Julie in her room. I'm not sure what time. It was about midnight, 1 o'clock when we turned it in. But Mr. Shanley saw Steve snoring, me laying there, everybody tired, and decided to give us some good advice.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, get. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, S. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. Summer. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. R. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. Rest.
Get some rest.
You can tell one of us is.
Wow.
Good night.
Yeah.
I said good night.
Good night.
I say good day to you, sir.
I love Mrs. Rise up in the background.
Yeah, she's hard at work back there reading everything.
Yeah, she's
Doing her
reading,
research.
and Mr. Camera Guy is hard at work too. Snoring up a storm. So the last clip I have before the personal stuff, this was what happened to Julie in, I'm not sure what time, but welcome to the Shanley.
Thank God that wasn't me.
I love it.
You wouldn't have seen me the next morning. I would have left that night right there and then. I'm out.
She heard
Same.
something in the room, and you heard the sound, and then it's, you know, what goes through someone's head like that, you know. So let me bring George back in. I'll tell you what happened to us. We went up to our room. We're staying in the Roosevelt room, and we got into the room, and it was picked out because there's a bathroom next door to it. So I got in there. We went in the room, and I pressed the lock on the door. It's just a button. Press the button. It's fine. We're good. You know, it's just us staying there. So about an hour and a half later, Dawn gets up to use the bathroom, opens the latch, the button pops, and like, you know, and Ken, what? Said, did you deadbolt the door? No, I just pressed the button. Said, the door was deadbolted. Now you got it from the inside. So she opened the door and yanking on it, and it won't open. I didn't touch the deadbolt at all.
Wow.
So maybe somebody looking out for us.
Wow.
It's like there's some murderers in here. You need to lock this door. So
That's weird.
props and thank you. I appreciate you, Shanley. You know.
Wow.
So Tori, tell them what happened to you guys.
Yeah. So we were in
Tell us without crying.
the what the hell room were we in?
The rose.
The Rose room. And so we were like, I want to say 3 doors down from Ken, 2 or 3 doors down from Ken. And good.
Well, you were laying down and like you sat up to get a drink, and I'm like almost asleep. Like I'm on the verge of sleep. And Cody gets a sip of his drink and he sets it down and goes to lay down. And all of a sudden I freak out and I jump and I look at him and I was like, why'd you do that? And he's like, what do you mean, why'd I do that?
What do you mean? What the hell are you talking
why'd
about?
you just like belt? Like, why'd you like belt a song? And he's like, what are you talking about? I swear he goes to lay down and all of a sudden I hear right near my ear, ah, and it was the most like, it was like gospel music. Like that's what it sounded like. And it was so out of the blue, like in my ear, I thought I just like ended up in like some gospel song. And so I jump up and I freaked out because it would be something Cody does to scare me. So I thought that he did. And then I was putting in my head that it didn't sound like Cody. It sounded more like a woman. But it was so funny. Just the like it was in mid note. It was terrifying. So Cody and I were laughing about it after because I was just so mad at him.
Yeah, she's fighting me. It sounds like something I would do, but I didn't do it that time.
The boy who cried wolf.
Oh my God.
So he does sing all the time, so it's not surprising either. You do sing a lot, like
yeah.
So it wouldn't be that surprising to be like, seriously, it's 3 a.m. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Not you this time.
No.
So that wasn't the end of it. I mean, overnight, Bill's camera's going funky, and people are locking doors and singing and running around in rooms and stuff like that. So, Shanley Hotel, 5 stars out of 5 as far as activity. As far as fun, we had a really good time there. You know, a lot of laughs, a lot of things, on camera, off camera, but that's kind of the way we approach things, So
Are you guys
wonderful night, and thanks for hanging in with us and seeing all these clips and us talking about a little bit. So
let's go back.
Let's go back.
Let's go back.
Let's go back. We are.
Yeah, can you swing that sometime in July?
I know, right?
Oh, I don't know how that would be, like the creepy vibe of snow outside, winter. It might remind me of like some horror movies, like The Shining or something. I might freak out or something. I'm just saying. I don't know if I can handle that because it was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, for real, it was a lot. When I went home and I see the cameras moving, I'm like, wait, what the hell is this? I called Ken immediately. I called him immediately. Ken, you got to see this footage. I don't know what the hell's going on, but something was going on in the basement. And we were, yeah.
Bill, you and I probably shouldn't go to an investigation together. We might wreak havoc the whole night because we're both like, what was that? Oh my God, what was that?
Oh, Jesus. That had to be George. Come on, stop that. I got to go to sleep in a little while.
That's me.
Anyway, it was fun. It was a ton of fun. It was great. It was really
fun. It was fun. It was fun doing. It was fun doing this tonight too. Yeah.
And great research, by the way, all of you. Great research, great investigation. Period.
Yeah, we are.
Good job.
We are sincerely privileged to have you guys share all of this great evidence and the great experiences, and we hope. Of course, everybody's got a busy schedule and they've got other things to take care of as well. But we hope that we can set up another live event here in the near future. So once we get a chance to do that, we will keep you guys updated to that possibility. Don't forget, next week, Michelle Belanger is going to be joining us for one of the hours. Second hour, I don't know what we're going to do, but I'm sure we'll figure it out between now and then. Hello, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
She's
Her proper name, Mrs. Rise Up.
The backbone of the field. There we go, right there. All right, guys, we're all out of time. We're actually way over time. And so we're going to go ahead and let everybody go. Thank you so much for watching us this evening. You've been watching Dead Air Live on the Dead Air Full Spectrum channel. Again, guys, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Have a good night.